we join our hands and lift up one voice. We speak the truth with strength and compassion, resounding with hope, with courage and joy. We cry for peace and rights for all people. We welcome friends from far and near. We fight for those whose voices are silenced, resisting in faith until all are free. We dream a world of justice and kindness. We build a bridge, creating new paths. We march with joy as all walk together, embracing each one. We boldly stand.
Good morning, and welcome to this online service of Neshoba Unitarian Universalist Church in Cordova, Tennessee. I am the Reverend Beth Lefever, pleased and privileged as always to serve as the minister of this congregation, and I am so very glad that you have chosen to join with us this week. Our opening words are by Samuel Anthony Wright from the hymn, "We would be one as now we join in singing our hymn of love, to pledge ourselves anew to that high cause of greater understanding of who we are and what in us is true. We would be one in living for each other, to show to all a new community." In this spirit of oneness and community, let us join in worship. And now Kat Garcia will light our chalice.
Good morning, beloved community. Today's chalice lighting is by Molly Brewer. My beloved people, I cannot pretend, and so I will not tell you that everything is okay right now, that there is no reason to be angry, that you must be optimistic or at peace. I cannot pretend these things, and so I will not tell you. But now our chalice is lit, and so all I ask in this moment is that we remember the words of Rebecca Parker. There is a love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all. By the light of our chalice, let us rest in this love. And now, please join me in proclaiming the covenant of Neshoba Unitarian Universalist Church. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve human need, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with the goddess and God.
And now, taking a flame from our chalice light, I'd like to light a candle of remembrance and shared grief for the victims of our two latest mass shootings. May we as a nation become better.
In the Tall, Tall Grass by Denise Fleming. The dedication says, for my father and mother, with love. In the tall, tall grass, crunch, munch, caterpillars lunch. Dart, dip, hummingbirds sip. Strum, drum, bees hum. Crack, snap, wings flap. Pull, tug, ants lug. Slip, slide, snakes glide. Rich, ratch, moles scratch. Skitter, scurry, beetles hurry. Zip, zap, tongues snap. Hip, hop, ears flop. Stop, go, fireflies glow. Lunge, loop, bats swoop. Stars bright, moonlight. Good night, tall, tall grass.
Today is the official kickoff of our annual pledge campaign. Last year, because of COVID, our pledge drive was delayed from spring to late summer or early fall. But this year we are excited to get back on schedule. To that end, a few words from our stewardship chair, Jeanne Ortmann.
Good morning. I can't believe we have been surviving this pandemic for over a year now. Who would have thought when we closed our doors that they would stay closed this long? But here we are. Somehow we have survived. Last year's stewardship campaign was more successful than we expected. Our members still feel connected, and we have meaningful worship services each Sunday, even though we aren't in person yet. Our campaign kicks off today. The theme of Survive and Thrive comes from my kickoff speech last year when I said, many of us consider Neshoba our family, and as in our personal families, we need to ensure that our family has what it needs to survive and to thrive. Well, we have survived, but now we want to thrive. I wanted to be a part of the stewardship committee again this year because I am committed to the life of Neshoba and know that stewardship is more than just giving money. Some, including me, can't donate much money, so I give my time and effort. I would like to see more people getting involved in more than just attending services, whether in person or virtual. You should have received your pledge packet by now. Please know that we would like to hear back from everyone, whether you are upping your pledge, keeping it the same, or can only pledge your time. We are hoping for 100% participation, knowing that everyone has received the information and is committed to supporting Neshoba in whatever way possible will help us plan the year to come. I am also interested in finding other sources of financial support. We have reached people with our online services that are not local, and I would like us to continue to have that kind of outreach and inspire people to donate to Neshoba. As you consider your pledge this year, please remember that any amount is welcome and appreciated. Service to the church in whatever area is meaningful to you is also welcome, whether you pledge an amount each month help with standing committees, participating in worship service, or volunteer when the call is put out for help. It is all valuable in helping Neshoba survive and thrive. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeanne. John Wood wrote, "A candle must give itself away. In the giving, the spending, the spreading, the sending, it finds itself." A candle must give itself away. In the giving, it finds itself. Our morning offering will now be shared and so very, very gratefully received. Our first reading this morning is by George E. Odell. We need one another when we mourn and would be comforted. We need one another when we are in trouble and afraid. We need one another when we are in despair, in temptation, and need to be recalled to our better selves again. We need one another when we would accomplish some great purpose and cannot do it alone. We need one another in the hour of success, when we look for someone to share our triumphs. We need one another in the hour of defeat, when with encouragement we might endure and stand again. We need one another when we come to die and would have gentle hands prepare us for the journey. We need one another. We need one another. My second reading by Erik Wikstrom. The metaphor of a marriage may seem at first an odd one for lay leadership. Who wants to be married to their church? Yet we often describe our congregations as families, and few of us were born into them. So perhaps the metaphor is more apt than at first it seems. Like a marriage, we choose these relationships, and the metaphor points out the spiritual as well as the practical dimensions of these relationships. Spiritually healthy couples who enter into a lifelong commitment do so with the understanding that they will share the work necessary to maintain their partnership. They will make decisions together, sometimes fight, speak truth to each other in love, make sacrifices for each other, and go through life with the awareness that they are each responsible for something larger than either alone. And finally, by John Saxon. The religious community exists by its mission as a fire exists by burning. But a fire cannot burn without fuel, and it is the time, the energy, the imagination, the vision, the creativity, the compassion, the love, and the financial support of the members and friends of this community that fuels our mission to nurture and sustain a welcoming, inclusive, and diverse liberal religious community that transforms lives across the world. Your support, the free and generous support of each and every member and friend of this community, is what fuels this community and its mission. And without your support, the flame of justice, community, and love cannot burn brightly to warm ourselves and be a beacon in a world threatened by division and fear. So as you probably know by now, I've changed topics on you. I did not realize that today was going to be our kickoff Sunday. And so the title of today's sermon is May I Find the Words. Of the numerous responsibilities a parish minister has, most of which are important and all of which matter dearly to the minister, among the most important, meaningful, and challenging is asking members and friends to support the church, to give to the church time, talent, and treasure. It is not an unfair request. In our tradition, the church belongs to its members, and to a lesser extent, its friends, and any and all who are fed by its being, its existence. And if we are responsible people, we take care of that which belongs to us. We put effort into polishing it up, tending it, and keeping it in good shape. And here, I'm not just speaking of the facility, but the church, with a capital C, the church family, all of whom it serves either directly or indirectly. I'm speaking of all that it stands for, our church, which even though imperfect, is a pulsating beacon of hope and reason, love and light in a world too often devoid of those things. Our church. I love preaching. I love finding just the precise word I want to convey the exact meaning I wish to convey in my message. I love finding just the right moving or humorous anecdote to illustrate what I'm trying to say in ways that I always so very much hope will touch someone's life, will move someone, will help someone. I put my all into writing and preaching sermons every time, although sometimes my all is more or less powerful depending on my state of mind, my level of energy, and so forth. But I put my all into every sermon I bring to you, and especially this yearly sermon, where I ask on behalf of the church, on behalf of you, for you to give your time and abilities in doing the work of the church, and your money to keep the church going, to keep it strong and vital and vibrant. And when it comes time for me to present this particular sermon, every time I wonder, what can I say? What can I say? What words can I use to help them catch fire for this faith, this church, to help them not only see but feel at a very visceral level how much it truly, truly matters? How do I find the words? It is easy to take our faith and our church for granted. There are a lot of things vying for our attention in our daily and weekly lives. We are busy, often overloaded, stressed out, and, well, there are lots of moving offerings to be had from the comfort of our own homes on television and streaming services, on Facebook and social media, and on YouTube. Oh my, but there's a lot of brilliant and beautiful content on YouTube alone. Further, we do not scold people for casual or intermittent attendance and involvement here at Neshoba. We do not threaten them with hellfire and damnation. We do not even nag and pester folks very much. We are a tradition that leaves the journey in the sojourner's hands, built largely around our third and fourth principles, encouragement to spiritual growth, and a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. Where we involve ourselves as a church in that individual journey is in providing companions along the way, in providing nourishment in the way of worship and religious exploration that draws on a wide spectrum of Christian, Jewish, Buddhist, earth-centered, and other religious traditions, as well as moving and meaningful secular resources. Where we involve ourselves is in providing a rich array of folks with whom to discuss, and yes, sometimes even to argue, the issues, the big questions of life. Where we involve ourselves as a church in the journeys of the individual is in caring for one another and in standing as witness to one another's lives and the lives of their children, in marking one another's life transitions together. Where we involve ourselves as a church in the individual journey is in helping one another to know that we are not alone, no matter how lonely we may sometimes feel, that we have a family which largely does not judge us, that we have a community of people who feel with us and for us, and with whom and for we feel. It has been an impossibly difficult year for us during the global pandemic that has plagued us. We have mostly not been together in person since last March. We have not broken bread together over lunch or our monthly potlucks. We have not sung together or laughed together except via computer screen. We have not hugged. A number of you have told me how much you miss the hugs many of us share when together in person here at Neshoba. A few of you have told me, I have not touched another human being or been touched in almost a year. That is unspeakably painful. We have missed one another terribly. We have missed the communal nature of our church, of our being together, our looking into one another's eyes. This became especially apparent to a number of us when we gathered on a beautiful day last fall to share our grief and our sorrow over the loss of our beloved Jack Subert after a lengthy illness. We had to gather distanced and masked in the parking lot because of the pandemic, but we came together, a lot of us, in real life and observed a simple ceremony of love and caring and shared sorrow. It felt good to be together for Jack and for Tricia and for and with one another, even though masks covered our smiles and muted our tears, and social distancing kept us from touching. Our hugs were internal, our love seen in one another's eyes and felt simply in the air and aura of togetherness. We will be back together soon. We will come together to do the urgently important work of social justice, though we have continued some of that work even while apart. We will come together to do that which we cannot do alone. We will come together to worship as a body and to be nurtured in our individual ways through that communal worship. We will come together to share our laughter and our tears, to inspire one another, and sometimes even to annoy one another just a little bit because we are family. We will come together to further remind the masses that there are many ways of being religious and that there are solid, loving, inclusive, and diverse ways, all in one church, all in our church. That there is hope, that there is a way. We have survived this difficult year through the generosity and talent of so many of you, keeping us together via Zoom classes and discussions and recorded services and keeping an eye on our property, our empty building, and so much else. We have survived and we have thrived, especially considering our necessary physical separation and the complexities of technology, at least for some of us, and the temptation to occasional despair and hopelessness at a world fraught with pain and difficulty. And now comes the ask. Please, please help us to come together strong, to come back together powerfully, to come back able to do all of those things that we do even more constantly and effectively. We need you, every one of you. We value you, we love you, and we rely upon you. No gift is too small, no chore too unimportant. We value and are grateful for all you have done and are able to do. But we are asking you to stretch yourselves as much as reasonably possible, because we think Neshoba matters. I think Neshoba matters that much. We ask you to seriously consider supporting this church beyond what you've ever done before, to give until it hurts, as the saying goes, and then right on through the pain until the giving feels good. Give until it feels good. We wouldn't ask you, I wouldn't ask you, if it didn't matter so very much to so many people and in such a large scale way. Thank you. Thank you. And amen. And now let us move into a spirit of meditation, reflection, and prayer. Please relax and become quiet and breathe comfortably. We Unitarian Universalists are infinite in the way we do religion. As infinite as things of the Spirit are infinite as the ultimate is infinite. We believe the mysterious speaks in countless ways to each of us, speaks in the ways we most can hear, whether that be through intuition, a message written in the clouds, the caress of a breeze, the love of a partner or friend, a voice in our dreams, symbolic coincidence, the affection of a pet, or the words of a favorite author. We believe the mysterious is mysterious, and we uplift that mystery as we encourage our members to seek their own truth and to find their own path. We believe, too, that the mysterious shines upon us all, nurtures us all equally, despite our wealth or lack of it, our station in life, the way in which fate has or has not favored us. We believe the mysterious is magnanimous, lofty, sublime, and by its very nature calls us to our own better selves, our own larger selves. let us together now dwell for a moment in mystery. Amen. And until next week, blessed, blessed be.
From the